as chair of the Live Van Party, you're no expert on coronavirus, are you?
Sure, I'm certainly not a medical expert, but what I am is I bring a lifetime and a career of dealing with statistics and probability and risk. And so that's why I first, came to work in the Isle of Man. Is that because at the time PokerStars contacted me out of the blue. I was did some what to me is relatively simple mathematical analysis about risk and probability to discover misbehaviour in the online world.
It's fair to say the risk of it coming to the Isle of Man is probably quite high now.
Yeah, absolutely. And so there are Manx residents who are currently throughout Europe. I know of a couple individually who have been in very close proximity to people who have been affected by the virus, and so this is a very serious issue for the Isle of Man, and it's something that needs to be taken seriously by the community at large.
You on your webpage have said that you feel the Isle of Man government has been very slow to act.
Yeah, exactly, and so the Isle of Man.
In what ways?
And so to give you a couple of very clear examples, I arrived into Douglas Port on Monday afternoon, and the signage there, not only was it very, very sparse and not very prominent, but it was also out of date. In addition, right now, as we speak at 10 a.m. on Thursday morning, the information that is currently provided on the Isle of Man government's website is also out of date. And so to give you the specific example is that for 3 days now, the United Kingdom has instructed every person who returns from Italy to self-quarantine. While the Isle of Man government says that we're reflecting the English advice, that advice has not been replicated to the Isle of Man government website. And the Isle of Man government website only says that you need to self-quarantine if you've been experiencing symptoms. And so this shows that this government has been slow to act, and it really needs to lift its game.
You've been just to a family wedding in Australia. So what have you seen on your travels that are in contrast to what you see when you come in and out of the Isle of Man?
Yeah, there's an extreme difference. And so Australia is taking this very seriously. And it's, despite being very close geographic, but also culturally to Asia, throughout all its arrival airports, there's an extreme number of warnings and signs. I saw people who had been to China earlier in the month being interviewed extensively about their travel habits. And it's a very stark difference between when you arrive at the places that are taking this issue seriously, and when you arrive here in the Isle of Man, is that there's two A3 posters which are not even accurate. And so what really needs to happen is that the health minister really needs to get his finger out and to ensure that the government rather takes this seriously, and ensures at the very least that the information provided is accurate and up to date.
You were also calling for tests to be done here on the Isle of Man. Currently, they're being sent away. It says on the website 48 hours, but we've heard already this week from the Health Minister it's more like 72 hours.
Yeah, exactly. And so Gibraltar is taking the lead. They're setting up local testing. They're setting up a local drive-through testing facility. In addition, they're also setting up the facilities so that the tests can be processed locally in Gibraltar. Now, Gibraltar is, obviously closer physically to Spain and to Europe, but at the same time, these are things that the Isle of Man government needs to take the lead on, because we can't rely on England and the United Kingdom to protect us. Already there are 8 deaths, as you're just reporting on the news, in the United Kingdom. There are over 2,000 people infected in the UK. It really is a matter of time. And so there are some really common sense things that the Manx government can do right now, right here, to reduce the risk.
The number's lower than 2,000 in the UK.
So I'm looking at what the information reported on Bloomberg this morning. So they're quoting 2,000. Certainly a lot of people. And so what's really important is we take it seriously and take appropriate action.
What other measures would you like to see brought in?
So the very simple things are accurate and up-to-date signage at the airports, directing people to self-quarantine appropriately. Secondly, the Manx government needs to contact people who have travelled into the Isle of Man to ensure that they are properly quarantining themselves if they have been to one of the infected areas.
How's the government going to know, though, who's travelled?
So you ask the airlines and you ask the ferry operators to give them their contact details. People have registered their email addresses and their phone numbers, and then you've got to pick up the phone. And it's not particularly glamorous work, but it's work that's really important to protect the people of the Isle of Man.